Hey y'all, and welcome to another video. I'm actually waiting on my mom to come over. She should be here any minute now, and we're gonna work on some Cowboy candy tonight. We're gonna work on that recipe and get it canned so that we can put it in the pantry. What is Cowboy candy, you may ask? It's a candied jalapeno. It's a jalapeno type, I don't want to call it a jam, but it has a lot of sugar in it. You can serve it over cream cheese with crackers as an appetizer, and it's a little bit spicy, a little bit sweet, and a whole lot delicious. So that's what we're going to be doing today. If you're new, I'm Tiffany, and you found us here on our small town life. We do homesteading, homemaking, and homeschooling things around here. We'd love to have you as part of the family. Hit that little red subscribe button down below before you leave. We're going to need a lot of jalapenos. And then some sugar, apple cider vinegar, some spices. I don't have those out yet, but we'll show them to you when we use them. And then Mom brought these over. She had ordered these. It's a jalapeno core, so you can take the seeds and the core, everything out of the center of the jalapeno, so it won't be as spicy. I think we're going to do that to half of them and leave the seeds in half. And we're going to be canning this in half-pint jars today. So I'm going to go ahead and get these washed up. I have my oven preheating to 250. And while we're working on everything else, we'll just stick these in the oven, the jars, in the oven. And they'll be sterilized. If you put them in there about 250 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 or 20 minutes, that'll get them nice and sterilized and hot because the liquid that we are going to be putting in them is hot. I'll also need to get my water bath canner heating up on the stove here in just a minute. I'll wash the rings and flats, and I'll put the flats in some hot water just to help soften up the seal. First thing that I did was went ahead and got those jars in the oven so that they could be hot and sterilized. Cut on that wax warmer to a fall scent between that and the Cowboy candy. It smelled good in that kitchen. We washed all the jalapenos, and Mom started cutting the tops off. We used that core on about half of them and then left the seeds in the other half and just sliced those up. The core worked well. It took a little bit to get used to. Audrey eventually got the hang of it and did really good with it. I made a mess trying to use it. A little tough at first, slung a few seeds, but in the end, Audrey figured it out. Slice the jalapenos to about 1/8 of an inch. It doesn't have to be exact. Just try to keep them all about the same size. And we worked our way through all 3 pounds of jalapenos. I didn't put on any gloves. None of us did. To work with these jalapenos, do as I say, not as I do. You should probably wear gloves. I never wear them when I'm working with jalapenos, and then I always kind of regret it when my hands burn a little bit. If you don't wear gloves, make sure you don't touch your eyes. Make sure you wash your hands really well. That stuff stays with you for a few days. And hey, if you got some gloves, go ahead and put them on. We set all of our jalapenos to the side in a bowl so that they could just be there ready for us when the time came that we needed them. I'm going to start working on the liquid portion that we're going to heat up in the stove, and you also see I'm cutting my water bath canner on. I have that full of water. I'm going to go ahead and let that start getting hot, and I also have a little pan back there with the flats in it, just warm. I'm going to start out with 2 cups of apple cider vinegar. And then 6 cups of sugar. This has got a lot of sugar in it, but it's worth it. It is absolutely worth it. So 6 cups of sugar. Then we'll start on our seasonings that we're adding. We're doing half a teaspoon of ground turmeric, half a teaspoon of celery seed, and 2 teaspoons of garlic powder. We're going to go ahead and add all of that in right now. Stir it all together. We're gonna start heating this up. We wanna bring it to a boil, and once it boils, we'll reduce it to a simmer and simmer it for about 5 minutes before we add our jalapenos in. You're about to see right here a shot of it boiling. I cut that down just a little bit, cut the heat down just a little bit, and let that go for 5 minutes. Huddy came in and wanted to help, so he took over stirring for a little while. It's always nice when the kids come in and want to be a part of what we're doing in the kitchen. It's a great learning experience for them as well. So after that had gone for about 5 minutes simmering, we dumped all of our jalapenos in and we let it go for another 5 minutes. Huddy was still in there being a great helper. Let your kids be involved, y'all. Let your kids help. Here's a close shot of those jalapenos. It was smelling delicious and looking beautiful. Then we're going to start straining out the jalapenos with a slotted spoon and putting those in the jar. You want to put those in the jar before you put liquid in. So filling all the jars up, I did take a butter knife and pack them down just a little bit. Once you have all those jalapenos in the jars, you want to bring that liquid back up to a boil and let it boil for about 5 or 6 more minutes. After that, you can start ladling it into your jars. You want to leave about a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch headspace at the top. You will have extra liquid. So we had 6 jars that had the jalapenos in it, and then there was enough liquid left over to put in 2 more jars. Don't waste that liquid, y'all. Go ahead and put it in a jar and can it as well. You can brush it on meat when you're grilling. You can use it for a lot of different things. Don't waste it. Go ahead and can that liquid as well. You'll see we ended up with 2 jars of extra liquid. I used my butter knife to kind of get the air bubbles out, just kind of going around the edge, making sure that any bubbles that were in there make their way to the top. Then I'm going to wipe the rim with a wet paper towel to make sure there's nothing there that would prevent a seal. Then I'll put my flat on and I'll put my ring on fingertip tight. After that, it'll be ready to go in the water bath canner. Just keep on going until you've got them all ready. Here's a jar of that extra liquid for you so you can see what it looks like. Same thing, just wipe the rim, put on a flat and a ring, and it'll go in the water bath canner as well. You'll notice after we got these in the water bath canner, we needed a little bit more water. You want to make sure it fully covers your jars by about 1 inch. And then bring it to a boil. Start your timer once it starts boiling, and you're going to process these for 10 minutes. We are below 1,000 feet altitude. If you're at a higher altitude, you'll have to adjust, and I'll leave a little note in the description box that can help you out there. After 10 minutes, you can take those out and sit them on a towel to cool. You want to make sure they seal, so you're going to leave them sitting there for 24 hours to make sure that they seal and that they stay sealed. There's a little button on the top of the lids. Some lids you can see it more than others, but it will suction down and you'll definitely be able to tell once your jar seals. Once it seals, you can store it in the pantry. If you have one that doesn't seal, just put that in the refrigerator and use it first. There's one of those jars of just the liquid. Like I said, we went ahead and processed that just like the rest of it. And here they are. I'm just gonna let them be, and we'll come back tomorrow and check and see if they sealed. Most lids will make a popping sound. It's always rewarding once you hear those flats start to pop and you know that your hard work's paying off and that everything's sealing. It's the next morning. We finished up pretty late last night, and I came back in here this morning to check and make sure everything had sealed, and it has, and it's beautiful, if I do say so myself. Is that not gorgeous? And it's gonna be so nice to have this in the pantry so that this winter, if I need to throw an appetizer together, maybe for a Christmas get together or something, I've got that, and it will be delicious, and it will be homemade, and it'll be easy because that part's already done. Honestly though, that wasn't really that hard, and I think it'll definitely be worth the little bit of effort that we did have to put into it. And y'all, we made great memories being in the kitchen with Mom and the kids. I've really loved this canning season this year and making the memories, canning with Justin, canning with the kids, canning with my mom. And I'm excited to have this right here to add to the pantry. We'll go ahead and close out this video. If you've not already subscribed, we would love to have you stick around and be part of our YouTube family. Hit that red subscribe button down below the video, and just like that, you'll be one of us. We love you. We appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.